Where a lot of people get it wrong, when they're creating book covers themselves, and it's why I usually get amateur results, is because unless they've got a design background or something like that, it quite often turns into something that's quite amateurish. A really good and easy way to get a professional design that I find works really, really well is simply to look at, once again, the top best-selling books. Not have to be the overall. You might want to maybe narrow this down to non-fiction. So if we just click on to non-fiction, so now we've narrowed it down to bestsellers overall, all non-fiction, and just look along at these designs. So just pick something that you like the look of. So it's usually the colors and the text and the way the text is positioned, the sizes and the fonts, how they compare, and how many colors it uses, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's take Stephen Covey's book, for example, here. I'm just going to click into this one so we can have a little bit of a closer look at it. So I'm not going to bring it up too big, else it'd be too big for the screen. But as you can see on this cover, the choice of colors is white and blue and shadings thereof. I think there's a bit of gold lettering here. I tend to find that as well, that on the top echelon best-selling books, certainly New York Times bestsellers and books like that, they tend to have 2-3 colors at the top, tops. It can be shades of the same color, yes. I mean, dark blue here, for example, and lighter blue there. But it tends to be no more than 3 colors at the most. This one predominantly is 2 colors, barring a bit of gold lettering at the top and the bottom here. But essentially what you can do is you can look at these covers and use these as a template for yours. Not to be exactly the same, okay, but look at the positioning of the words and the size of how they compare. So you'll notice how the word effective is the largest one, and then it's slightly smaller for these, and smaller again here, and the appears the smallest, and then even smaller still here. Okay, and also look how the fonts are different. So a different font is used here to what is used here. How the author name. Also pay attention to the colors used. You'll see that it's a blue background with white text, and here the white background and blue text. So you can see how that works quite well. So you could use that idea on yours, sort of model yours around follow these sort of ideas. Make sure that your text looks nice and use different sizes for the different words and the positioning of the words. Some covers have the letters over on the left and then finish on the bottom right, going across like that or whatever, or going diagonally or whatever it is. So that's the really good way of just pick a professional book cover or 2 or 3, don't just use one, and look at what makes those covers. Look at things like the size of text, the colors, the color of the backgrounds, how it's shaded as well. It's not just all the same blue here. It could have been, but you notice it looks brighter in the center here. I'll show you how to do all this sort of thing, don't worry. And it sort of looks really good. Look at covers with pictures and see how those pictures look good on covers. So there's pictures, might find some here, so I'll see if I can find one real quick. So yeah, there's this one here. Not enamored by the color of the words, but obviously it's working. It's one of the top selling books. This is a memoir. This is a very simple picture in here. Notice I said that earlier on, top books tend to have limited use of pictures. This has got a picture of trees there, and you may be able to just make out there. I'll see if I can enlarge this a bit actually, so hopefully we can see the cover a bit clearer. So it might just take a few moments to load. There we are. I think it's coming up now. Right, so yes, so hopefully you can see that now. Once again, pay attention to how the text is. Look at the font. I like the squiggly font here. There's fonts that are ready made which look like this, by the way, you can use. But also then look at the size, how it's bold in there and it's smaller here. Oh yes, pay attention to capitals as well, and what's not capitals. For instance, this is not capitals, this is sentences. This is a bit more like it's a quote, I think, that is there, so it's written that way. But look at the colours, and there's shading on it. Look like it's lighter green here and it's darker at the top of letters. Again, I'll show you how to do all of that. But look at the images, how it blends in, and how it's to do with the subject of the book as well. That's also important. So, girl in the woods. Here's some trees that you would find in the woods. Well, look how the trees, without stopping you reading what the word woods is, it doesn't block it out, but how it overlaps it slightly. These are things that make it professional. A memoir, it's on going up the page. The author's name is here, but it's a different color. It's white. Okay? You don't need to choose the same colors as this book has chosen, this cover has chosen, but you could use this. There's other ones, I can't find one real quick, but there's other ones where you'll have an image in the middle, but it sort of like fades into a white background or cream background or whatever. So it's not just like a line across and a line here around where the picture starts and ends. You can see a clear edge. The edge is, it doesn't have an edge as such. A picture sort of like just fades into the background. Pay attention to things like that, but that's the real quick way of getting professional designs. Model them on professional covers and see what they do.